don't wait for someone to invite you. Invite them over to your house, because I've been new in town multiple times,
Yeah.
and it can get frustrating when you're like, well, nobody's inviting me over. Well, a lot of times they don't know that you're even looking for somebody.
Let's talk about community, because that is one of the most important parts of homeschooling. Of course, it's not just about the academics and putting a workbook in front of our kids, but for moms and for kids, I think having community is vitally important. It is so necessary for us. And we look at all these influencers, and some of them are great and they have great content and they have great encouragement, but we need real life influencers. And I think summertime is a good time to start building those relationships so that when we get into the school year, we already have some of those set in place. And if you have started to build those relationships and you have community from the past year, it's so important to keep those relationships going throughout the summer so that you don't lose that. Talk about your experience with community and why you as well find it important to have just to have those people in your life.
hmm And I think I'm thankful that when we began homeschooling, Instagram was not a thing, because
Right.
I do have some sympathy for moms that are just starting out right now, because there are some amazingly creative homeschool moms out there that post the most beautiful pictures and the most, just beautiful. Everything looks amazing. And I think, you and I and everybody out there listening knows that when you actually get started and you get into it, you're like, this looks nothing like the posts that I was promised on
Right.
Instagram. What is going on here? And so then you think that you're doing something wrong, and you're not doing something wrong. You're just doing something that's hard, because it's a long day with children, some of whom, can't go to the bathroom by themselves yet.
Right.
So it does wear on the nerves, right? And so I am very thankful that when I was starting out, I had a couple of really good friends and slash mentors that had homeschooled their kids, and just really kind of held my hand and walked me through the whole beginning process. And one of my friends, she had 7 children. She had an amazing homeschool room, and she, I told her, I'm going to start homeschooling. I have no idea where to start. She's like, come over and I'll help you get started. And she was so patient with me and so amazing. We sat down with coffees, and she just let me ask her 100 questions. And then she just left me alone in her homeschool room to just look at all of her curriculum and page through things. So it was like my own personalized exhibit hall at a conference.
Yeah.
And it was just such a gift to me. And I realized that not everybody is going to have that. But I do think that seasoned homeschool moms want younger homeschool moms to succeed. Um, and I realize that there's all kinds of family dynamics and things, but it does make me sad when, someone that I know just decides that they can't do it anymore because they just kept getting too frustrated or whatever. Because we're all part of the body, right? So we can all offer something to somebody else, whether it's somebody younger, somebody older. But I especially, would just shout out to the older moms that have some experience under their belt to reach out to somebody that's new, because I do think that if all they have is the Instagram homeschool world to look to as for a mentorship, it is quite defeating some days. I mean, I
Yeah.
as a 40-year-old person go onto Instagram some days and I'm like, wow, I do not have anything together. My life, what am I even doing? And so it can get, depending on the time of the month or the frame of mind you're in, to really feel discouraged when you're looking around out there. So I would really encourage older moms that have been at this for a while to reach out to younger moms and invite them over for coffee. Chances are they're looking for that. It's something that I feel like is sorely needed in the Christian community and churches. But yeah, definitely reach out to somebody. Be that person that don't wait for someone to invite you. Invite them over to your house, because I've been new in town multiple times,
Yeah.
and it can get frustrating when you're like, well, nobody's inviting me over. Well, a lot of times they don't know that you're even looking for somebody because they're involved in their lives. They have their kids. But, if you can kind of be just a little bit of a bee in their bonnet and just say, hey, let's get together. I really could use a friend. I really could use maybe just some insight on some things. I have some questions. Could our kids play and I'll make you coffee? Like something like that. And just, I don't want to say force it. That sounds kind of harsh, but, make it happen. There's a lot of people out there that need that community, and keep trying. It is hard. We live in a very isolated world where we're kind of all in our bubbles, but I don't necessarily think that that's the healthiest all the time. We can do this Zoom stuff and FaceTime, but there's nothing as genuine as being able to read somebody's face, face to face, and hold somebody's hand or give them a hug. And it's something that I think that we desperately need more of in the world, but also, in our niche, in our homeschool mom world too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, man, I love some aspects of social media and the internet, but I hate most aspects of it. I think it should be called unsocial media because it's gotten us, to the point in our world where people don't even know how to socialize. I mean, especially our teenagers, they don't know how to socialize, and it's heartbreaking to me. But I think in the homeschool community, at least we have the opportunity to help teach our kids how to do that because we're with them more. And so really, we talked in our last episode about developing character in our kids through the summertime. And this is a great time to help our kids learn what it looks like to have community, how they can reach out and be hospitable to other homeschool families, especially if there are new homeschool families in town, or maybe a family who's been homeschooling for a long time and you just want to build a relationship with them. Teach your kids how to be hospitable to those people as well. Whether your kids are in first grade or in 11th grade, it doesn't matter, but teaching them how to build community, because I see this next generation going in a direction that I think is really scary, where they literally, many of them don't know how to communicate. I mean, you see a group of teenagers and they're all sitting on their phones right next to each other, not talking to each other, but sending each other Snapchats and Instagram posts and this and that. And I just think, oh, how sad. We must teach our kids. We must be intentional about teaching our kids how to commune with one another, how not to be the weird, unsocialized homeschoolers, but to be the super cool, socialized homeschoolers, because it is necessary it's necessary for their well-being and for the future. I mean, it boggles my mind where we've come to. And honestly, I think that it is I think it's very sneaky and a ploy of the enemy to get us to a point in our world where we don't know how to commune with one another. Homeschool Insights is sponsored by CTC Math. If you're looking for a great online math program, visit ctcmath.com and try it for free. For more great homeschool inspiration and resources, listen to the Schoolhouse Rocked podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday.